Welcome back everyone, it's Untap Your Go, and today we'll be playing Dimirion Control in Standard. So this is a Urian deck, and we are playing the 80 card version. We're not playing 60. We are playing 1 as the companion and 2 in the main, and then let's break this down really quick because there's a lot going on in this deck. So in the removal department, we're playing 3 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst, 3 copies of Heartless Act, 4 copies of Drown in the Loch, 3 copies of Elspeth's Nightmare, 2 copies of Murderous Rider, as well as all 4 copies of Extinction Event. We're also playing some counter magic in the form of 2 copies of Negate. Drown in the Loch also acts as a counterspell for us when we need it to, and we have 2 copies of Mystical Dispute. We also have 2 copies of Sublime Epiphany in the top end. This can act as a counterspell when we need it to, but it's also in here to be able to just create another copy of Urian, draw some cards, and just get more value out of all of our stuff. And then on top of all the removal, we're also going to be making our opponents discard their cards, thanks to Acquisitions Expert, Peleka Predation, and the 3 copies of Elspeth's Nightmare. So playing 4 copies of Omen in the Sea so we can draw some cards. To close out the game, we have Ashiok, we also have Urian to be able to attack overhead, and we have 4 copies of Shark Typhoon so we can make giant sharks to attack. 3 copies of Teferi's Tutelage because it draws us some cards, it has an ETB effect, and most importantly, it's another win condition in milling out our opponents. In the mana base, we're just playing 8 islands, 6 swamps, 2 Castle Locthwain to draw some cards, and then all 4 pathways and all 4 dismal backwaters. You could play temples if you have them. If not, I wouldn't recommend crafting them. You really don't need to. And that's the deck. I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to try it out. And with that, let's see if we can control the board, control our opponent, mill them out, and attack overhead with some giant sharks in Dimirion Control. Alright, so we're on the play, and our opening hand seems pretty good, so we're definitely going to keep this. Start off with a Dismal Backwater. Up against Aeroplane. I like that there, what they did. So I guess we can just play this as a blue source. We don't need the black. We don't need any more black source. Double tempo for our opponent means they're up to a pretty slow start, so that should give us a chance to set up our defenses and maybe just take control of the game pretty quickly. Chainweb Arachne is something to be mindful of. I don't think we need to worry about killing it right now. So I'm just going to Teferi's Tutelage. Should discard. I guess we discard Urian. As good as Urian is, I mean, the rest of my hand is pretty good. Just deal with all of our opponent's creatures. Ouch. Alright, Mire Triton for our opponent. Which helps turn our Into the Story online a little bit sooner. I think I just play Murderous Rider as a lifelinker. If I played the Swamp there instead, I could have also Bloodchief's Thirst away the Mire Triton, which is what I had in mind. Okay. Fiend Artisan for our opponent. Well, I think for now we just kill the Fiend Artisan and hold up Into the Story. Alright, so opponent's getting in the damage. We're just gonna keep taking it right now. Carrion Grub. Okay. Opponent mills 4 more. I mean, it's kind of helpful that they're self-milling. There's the Extinction Event. And now I think we can just Extinction Event the evens, get them off the board. and hold up a Heartless Act. Alright, opponent gets in for the 1. I'm just going to remove the 3 counters from it. Play our Dismal Backwater. Buy Urian. And then we can just keep chilling. We're on a pretty reasonable clock and beating our opponent here. No problem with taking the damage. That's fine. Fire up a Solani Vision on their end step. Try to find another draw spell to pair with the end of the story. Spine Epiphany isn't bad either. Take it. I mean, if we can just draw into another Into the Story with Into the Story, we might just win. Alright, opponent's drawing. I'm just thinking here. 3, 6, 8, so I think we fire off the End of the Story. Alright, we didn't draw into another one. It's okay, our opponent's down to 11, so they're not looking great. But we'll go ahead and just kill off one of their Chainweb Arachnirs. Pass it back up, and now our Urian Blink should just be enough. Opponent's probably escaping the Polychronos. Yep. We take 4 and we go down to 8. But I think we got this. Get to look at their hand. Ooh, Back for More is pretty good. So it's literally just all Reanimator. So we can't win through mill just yet. Well, I mean, since our opponent is kind of tapped out, we can just hold up Murderous Rider. I think I'll hold up Murderous Rider during the combat. Could play Ashiok now. Start making 2/3s. Yeah, I think we just play it like that. We can instant speed kill the Polychronos. And our opponent played the land they drew, so we know what's in their hand. Let's go ahead and actually, if we do it in response, our opponent can just spend the mana to fight it again. So we have to let that resolve first. This opponent goes to attacks. And we'll kill the Polychronos, which should put us down to 3. And Negate's not super good. Bye-bye opponent's graveyard. And then I guess we just kill both of their creatures, and they might just scoot. Ooh, there's an end to this story. I guess we'll just discard the negate. Can't hold it up. We just had the mana. If I didn't play the Ashiok there, we could have just won straight up. But I don't think there's really much our opponent can do. 2 cards left in their deck. I mean, this is a pretty good game plan. You just exhaust all their resources while milling them out, so they have virtually no resources to get back. Opponent drew a land. And they give up. Good game, opponent. And this hand is pretty poopy, so we're gonna go ahead and put that back. This hand's not much better, but we gotta keep it. I think we bottom the Into the Story, lead off with the Predation. I mean, if we can draw a blue source, this hand's fine. And never punished. Never punished. Ever. Ooh, opponent gives us a Luminarch Aspirant. So they must have kept a hand with very minimal amount of lands they're not willing to give up. Okay. Another Luminarch Aspirant for our opponent. Only Visions isn't bad. Now we can hold that up or the Drown in the Lock, depending on what our opponent does. So we'll get 2 triggers. If we're lucky, they dump them all on 1. Opponent's thinking. So he puts them both on the one that's not Summoning Sickness. Because the opponent was greedy, and now they're left with a 1/1. Nice. Alright, so could like punish them and attack, but it's not worth it. Conclave Mentor for our opponent. That's not good. Elspeth's Nightmare might help us. Depends where they pass the counters. We'll just take the 3. So I'm going to play this Selene Vision as a land, and we can Elspeth Nightmares our opponent's Conclave Mentor. That kind of worked out better for us just because of the way they decided to place the counters. I mean, killing either of them is pretty relevant, but Conclave Mentor is definitely the better card. And our opponent's still not finding any lands. I'd imagine this game would go a lot differently if they did. I'm gonna choose to not take this. I mean, I'm gonna choose to take this one more time. Drown in the Lock is good. The Great Henge costs 5 right now. They're nowhere near playing that anytime soon. I mean, it's kind of rude, but I'm going to take the Cultivate. Go ahead and take the Cultivate, and then we're just going to bounce the Fledgling, chump the Luminarch Aspirant, and they go ahead and exile it, so they don't have any means of getting overhead with their attacks. And their opponent found their land. I was kind of thinking they were going to. It's been a while since they drew one. Stonecoil Serpent's good. This is an easy chump. Murderous Rider is a great draw for us too. We'll just go ahead and make a dude. And alright, so I can't actually kill that, but we're gonna Murderous Rider the Stonecoil Serpent. And then we'll just pass, and if our opponent puts anything in the graveyard, then we can kill the Luminarch Aspirant. Can't do anything about that either. Decides to put the counter on itself. Luminarch Aspirant's gonna put the counter on it as well. We'll just keep making these trades. Or these chumps. Could Shark Typhoon, but I think better off holding it up. Extinction Event's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we just go ahead and get rid of that. Plus up Ashiok again. And then unless our opponent plays like Questing Beast or something, they're not going to be able to get through to this Ashiok anytime soon. They got their Great Henge. Just fine, we'll just bounce it with Ashiok probably. That's a good draw for us too. Well, we'll go ahead and kick that, get rid of it. Bounce the Great Henge. Put them in a rock and hard place. They can either keep the expensive card or the card that helps them get there. Scoot Swarms are great. Opponent still has 2 cards in their grave, so they could still get around that. They can get around the Drown in the Lock, so I can't kill it there. Go ahead and play the Midnight Clock. See what our opponent gets. I mean, if they draw a land, they're not in bad shape. There you go. They got there. No attacks from my opponent. I'm actually going to go ahead and scry. Sublime Epiphany is pretty cool. 2 cards in their grave. It doesn't matter how we stack this. So we Heartless Act the Scoot Swarm, and then we can Drown and Unlock the token, and then they're pretty much back to being at square 0. With our Ashiok ticking up, I think we have this game locked down. Opponent's a trooper though. They're hanging in there. Definitely clinging on to the idea that they have a chance. I'm start exiling a lot now, so and I mean, could play the Shark Typhoon, try to close out the game. Yeah, they just give up anyway. I was gonna hold up Sublime Epiphany in case they drew into like Questing Beast or something. I think I'm gonna mulligan that. This is better. Put back one of the Teferi's tutelages. And we're gonna have to play this out as Black Source and pass. Overwhelmed Apprentice. That's an interesting choice. Show me an island. Show me what you got. I mean, Sweet Oblivion's cool. So it's just straight up mono blue mill? Okay. That's not a land. That is not a land. Well, I guess we go ahead and kill one of the Wind Robbers, because our Drown in the Lock is dead right now. I got that Fabled Passage, but no Ruin Crab. Man, this sucks. No land. Another Fatal Passage. Makes our Drown in the Lock a little bit better. Yikes. Okay, well that I'm gonna have to try to counter. Hope that they don't have... Alright, cool. I'm not playing any counter magic. No attacks from our opponent. No land for us. So we just go and pass it back up. Okay. Opponent Sweet Oblivion's us. I guess we'll draw a card first. There's a land. Can we draw one more? Can we just draw like one more land? Okay, not quite. I'm afraid our opponent might have a Maddening Cacophony or something. Alright, let's Blood Chief's Thirst. Force the sack. Now we pass it up. I don't want to play the Midnight Clock and not have any lands. See, like, that's worth countering. Cool, we found a land. Let's try to get down this midnight clock. And it sticks. I'm just gonna have a super hard time milling this now. Opponent likes both the cards on top, though. Play our Teferi's Tutelage. Could discard Urian. See if we can find a land. Don't think we need either of those. Alright, well now we're kind of wide open to a Maddening Cacophony kicked, but I think we'll be fine. The heck is this? That's cool. Well, I mean, the bright side is that they're both odd. So I can just exile them. No attacks. Now we have the negate held up too. So we're in pretty good shape. That's fun. That's not fine. That is certainly not fine. That's great. You love to see it. You love to see it. Like, what are the chances they play all 4 copies? Do you think they play all 4 copies? We have 32 cards left in our deck. I mean, five more counters though, and we'll be fine. Do I negate this? I don't think so. Telling you, I'm just afraid of that Maddening Cacophony. That could just like randomly get me. And now we're in shape where we can just start paying into the midnight clock too. I mean, yeah, you got it. Like, I'm really debating, like, is it even worth countering these? He's just gonna get them back. Better off just putting our mana in here. Yeah, opponent just... Good game. Hey everyone, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Today we went 3-0 for a pretty strong finish, and I gotta say the deck is a lot of fun. Dimir control is in a fantastic spot right now in the meta, and I highly recommend checking this deck out. Urian, we already know and love, we already know how good this card is. There's not a whole lot of blinkable targets in this deck like there would be with other decks, but just having the 80 cards with just like a good pile of stuff just seems pretty good right now. So, especially with Mill being very prominent in the format still, we can try to maybe build this in a 60 card shell as well, but I think it wouldn't do as good. At least for Dimir, for these colors, I think it's best to play it as an 80 form deck, but regardless, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. I want to get 10 likes on today's video, and please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date when I upload future videos, and with that, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.